Hey guys, this is Kenny with ScooterDad.com, and today we're going to talk about how to install a Proto SCS. While this safety warning is running here, you should know that this video tutorial does not include instructions on how to install a threadless headset or a star nut in your fork. I'll be using a Phoenix fork that is already threaded for SCS or HIC compression. While this video tutorial specifically refers to a Proto SCS, other SCS systems should be very similar regarding their installation. I've prepped our SCS clamp by expanding it for easier installation with the penny trick. If you're not familiar with this method, I've created another video tutorial that explains the penny trick. Our SCS system consists of the clamp, an optional shim, the compression cap, compression bolt, and 4 clamp bolts. Insert the compression cap in the top half of your clamp so that it rests on the ledge inside the lower part. If you're using oversized bars like these, you don't need the optional shim. However, if you're using standard diameter bars, you will need to use the shim. When you insert the shim, make sure that the slit in the shim is aligned with the slit in the clamp. You can use the penny trick to expand the clamp to make this process easier. Be sure to test fit your bars into the clamp before you install it on the fork. Technically, you don't need to use the top cap from your headset. However, I like to use it in addition because I've had some problems with the compression cap getting bent. If you choose to use your headset's cap, insert the compression bolt through the cap and then drop that entire assembly down into the compression cap inside the clamp. Otherwise, you can just drop your compression bolt right into the compression cap. Now slide your entire clamp onto your fork so that your compression bolt seats into the threads of your fork. Carefully thread your compression bolt into your fork. Before tightening your compression bolt, make sure that your clamp is aligned with your fork. The tightness of your compression bolt will determine how loosely your headset spins. If you haven't done so yet, remove your spare bolt and penny that you've been using to expand the clamp. At this point, you can insert your bars while the clamp is still expanded just a little bit. Remember, your bars must not have a slit, and the clamp will add about 2 inches to your overall height, so you can often cut off any slit that you might have. Before you insert your bolts, be sure and add a little bit of machine grease to the threads. You don't want to add too much, just a little bit. The grease will help prevent your bolts from binding up on the soft aluminum threads in your clamp. Repeat this step for each bolt, but don't tighten them just yet. Just get the threads barely started. The grease on the bolts really does make a difference, so be sure and use a high quality grease for this step. Now that you have all your bolts started, it's time to begin tightening them. Many people have cross-threaded or stripped out the threads on their clamp, so if you don't take your time, this could happen to you too. As soon as you start to feel some resistance on a bolt, stop. You don't want to tighten one bolt all the way and leave the others loose. Gradually tightening each bolt one at a time is one of the most important concepts to learn when maintaining an SCS. The same applies when loosening the clamp. If you tighten one bolt all the way or loosen it all the way, the clamp will bind. You'll know the clamp is binding when it becomes extremely difficult to turn the bolts. You may also hear a pop, and you might even smell a hot metallic odor. Slowly tighten each bolt a little bit at a time and then move on to the next one so as to not over-tighten one bolt all at once. If you're having trouble with the clamp slipping on the fork, try tightening the bottom 2 bolts first. Alternately, if you're finding that your bars are slipping inside the clamp, try tightening the top 2 first. Either way, you still want to make sure that you're only doing a little bit at a time so as to not bind your clamp. Always use T-handle Allen wrenches like I'm using here. If you don't have some, now's a good time to invest. Be careful not to strip out the heads of your bolts or the threads in your clamp when tightening. And now you're ready to ride. Good luck with your SCS and have fun.